from talking about controversial topics and creating a debate around any of the sensitive issues. Uh, the idea is to give everyone a safe space to learn about science, technology, engineering and technology, and engineering and mathematics, and also to develop their public speaking skills. So now that we are live, welcome once again. And since we have only one book, another guest just joined. So let's start with the guest introductions. Toastmaster Iram, if you could introduce yourself first, although you're pretty regular, but uh, as long as you're not a member, you need to keep introducing yourself.
We have two
This is
Irams.
Ramna, and I'm good for me. You can join.
Sorry?
Somebody said something.
Yes. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, this is Amanan, and I am from the Central Squad. I'm getting chance to myself every time for the keynote sessions.
Cannot hear.
Yes, your voice is a little bit breaking up. So maybe you could turn off one of the videos, right? Okay. So, okay, we have Mr. Nisar Ahmed with us. Mr. Nisar, would you like to introduce yourself? Uh, okay, perhaps his audio is not connected, but well, okay, we welcome you to the meeting. And today, the theme of the meeting is feedback loop. What is feedback? One feedback loop is Toastmaster itself, where we speak and someone gives us feedback, and then we incorporate that feedback into our speeches. But if you think about it, everything that we see is running on a feedback loop. For example, the water cycle is a feedback loop. The water, interestingly enough, water is not created, has never been created on Earth. There is no natural process that creates water on Earth. All the water that we have came from other parts of the universe. It did not arise on Earth. It was brought to us through asteroids with ice in them. Billions and billions years of asteroid, and the water got accumulated, and then the oceans were formed. At least that's the current understanding. Now, when we consume water, we, of course, ingest it and then excrete it, and so do all the living beings. But ultimately, it gets absorbed into the earth or it becomes part of the water channels, whether that is rivers or oceans or lakes. It gets evaporated and clouds are formed, and then the clouds give us back that water through rain. So that's the water cycle, and that's the feedback. But there's also a feedback loop working for virtually every resource we have. For example, there's a carbon cycle, and I only became aware of it recently. We burn, of course, the information was there with us all along, but we did not see it that way. We burned the fossil fuels, right? the carbon dioxide goes into the atmosphere. And so, the cycle is not complete, partially complete, but it remains there. There's also another kind of feedback loop, and that feedback loop is when we, as a species, do something to disturb our environment, no matter what it is. Even the way we live and our daily activities, which may not ordinarily amount to adding or disrupting the environment, they also create a disruption. And ultimately, what happens is that it disrupts the other species that are living around us, animals and plants, and uh, they adjust to the circumstances that we create. And ultimately, that results in us changing our environment irreversibly. So that is another kind of feedback loop, because once our environment is irreversibly changed, then we have two choices: either to continue doing what we're doing or to actually make some effort towards rescuing and reversing that irreversible change. So today we are all about feedback loop, and we'll be discussing it. But first, let's welcome our keynote speaker, Toastmaster Iram Anand. Toastmaster Iram, if you could take a minute or two to introduce yourself first, and then we can start with your keynote.
Sure. This is Iram Hanan, and I'm a member of the Zenith Toastmasters Club. Recently, I joined and become a member from Jan 2025. By profession, I'm a software engineer and managing a team of more than 10 members. And my specialties is the OBDX development, which is a fintech product of the Oracle. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Iram. And of course, you have one distinction that no other human being in history has ever been able to accomplish. Can you guess what that is? And I'm not joking.
A combination of the tech and the communication skills as well.
No, I mean, yes, that's rare, but that's present. Your distinction is that you are a keynote speaker for the second consecutive time at Quantum
Yeah.
Leap. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no other human being. We've had scientists, we have had intellectuals, we've had uh, amazing individuals, honestly, but we did not invite anyone for a second consecutive keynote. So congratulations on that. And of course, we all loved your keynote last time as well. So what we'll be doing is that it's a 20 to 25 minutes, right, Iram? Or you desire a different length?
We can
And
have
we
15 to 20 minutes maximum.
Okay, 15, 20. Okay. And we have our VP Education who has decided to change her name for today. So, but if she thinks that she can escape her responsibilities that way, no, that's not happening at all. So, DTM Rosie, good to see you. And thank you for joining us. DTM Rosie is actually outstation, and her son is participating in a contest, and she's joined right from there. So, as the kids say today, mad props to you, DTM Rosie, because you managed to join no matter where you are. Thank you so much. So, Toastmaster Aaron, I'm highlighting you, right? And you can share the screen and ready whenever you are. So, everyone, put your hands together for Toastmaster Aaron. Effective communication strategies, Toastmaster Aaron.
Thank you so much, DTM Tala, for giving me a chance to appear over here. The world is continuously moving towards the automation. The manual resources are being reduced, and we have the remote jobs accessible everywhere. In this era, every one of us is continuously striving to enhance our communication, leadership, and networking skills. A quick research over the Google suggests that artificial intelligence can never replace humans who have strong soft skills. In fact, AI can enhance their abilities. When I say soft skills, what comes in your mind? What are the soft skills? Anyone from the audience?
Mm, Communication, of course.
Of course, the communication. Anyone else?
Interacting with other human beings.
Sorry, the interacting.
Interaction with other human beings. How you interact
Interaction
with
with
them.
other human beings. The problem solving is another soft skills. Leadership style, how you manage the team, how you act as a leader. Similarly, we have the conflicts resolution. These all are the soft skills. If I just consider my personal example, I have been managing a team of the 10 members, and they were continuously relying on the software tools and processes. For example, they were using Skype, the Zoom, and the different other tools for the communication. Their communication was entirely scattered. On and on, the chat messages were going on, and the conclusion was nothing. A blame game, the negativity, and the conflicts were there. As a result of this, they were quite burnout. And when burnout happens, ultimately the productivity decreases. The deadlines were missed, client was unhappy, and the senior management was unsatisfied from all the team members. It was really a frustrating situation for me that how to handle. Realizing the situation, I just called them, all the members, in a meeting room. And I asked them that what do you want to do? It's your project, it's your team, you have to decide. And I left the room immediately on that time. When the teams gathered at a single place, they can understand each other better. On the same tools and the processes they were using earlier, there were a variety of the miscommunication on that time. When they sit together, they can gel in among each other. And they started taking ownership. If someone said that a person A will be doing a task A, and the person B will be doing a task B, and so on and so forth, the same situation goes on until up to 2 months. Slowly and gradually, they gel in among each other, and they started working towards the right direction. This all situation happened just because of the communication and the collaboration. Within the last 2 months, the result was really amazing. The same team, same skills, the same salary packages, but they did wonderful job, and the productivity enhanced from 25% up to the 75%. And this all happens just because of the leadership style, the communication and the collaboration which established among the team members. It gave them the chance to showcase their productivity and to take the ownership of the entire project. To summarize the whole story, I would say the communication has the power to increase the productivity and to reduce the gap in between the senior leadership towards the ground level resources.
Another suggestions over the Google, the 85% of the workplace failure is due to the lack of the communication among the team members. Let's look into the few visuals and understand that what communication is. If you just look in the first visual, it's a team collaboration. The team is sitting together and they are taking the decision that what do they have to do. Similarly, someone is trying to communicate something to another one. After looking into these visuals, if I just say that what is communication, can somebody just describe the whole that what actually the communication is? Anyone from the audience?
Getting your point across.
Sorry?
Getting your thoughts or points across.
Exactly. If I just describe the communication, I would say it's a dynamic process to transmit or to convey any message, thoughts, ideas, informations. It can be the feelings of the happiness or the feeling of sadness. And the most amazing part is it happens in between the two parties. The one can be the sender, another can be the receiver. It can be one to one, it can be one to many to one, or many to many as well. It's all about it how you say and what you say, isn't it? If I just look about the modes of the communication, I would say that first mode is the verbal communication. And the verbal communication is the exchange of thoughts through the words or the spoken words, which we generally use for the phone calls. It can be direct when someone interacts you one to one. Maybe you are communicating with your bosses. It can be a one to one verbal communication. Or it can be indirect if you are trying to speak to someone over the phone call. The importance of the verbal communication is quite high. Why? Because it helps us to increase the productivity. When the communication gap reduces from the business side towards the engineering side, it ultimately helps us to increase the productivity of the team. As I discussed earlier, that the team was same, their packages were same, the members were same, that their technical capabilities were same, but how they enhance the productivity? They started understanding each other when they sit together. Similarly, the verbal communication is quite essential for our interviews. When we sit in front of the interviewer, the initial 10 to 15 seconds are quite important. It helps us to express ourselves in front of the interviewer, who we are, and how we describe that who we are. Similarly, in presentations, we express ourselves through the verbal communication. How we explain the entire presentation in a concise way. There are few key aspects of the verbal communication, and if we really utilize them in our daily life, it can help us to grow and prosper, not only in the professional life, but of course in the personal life as well. The first key aspect is the 4 C's. And the first C stands for the concise. Whatever the message we are trying to communicate, it needs to be quite simple. A small message needs to be delivered in a very easy way so that the others can easily understand that what I trying to communicate. Similarly, the clarity must be there. What do I want to communicate? A message needs to be clear so that the others can easily understand. The confidence level. I can say the confidence is actually, it's your belief in yourself that you can do. And to develop the confidence, you really need to have the practices and the experiences in your field. Because the more practice you do on daily basis, the more you learn. And it gives you the confidence that you can excel. You have to have the backstage preparation before presenting yourself, even using the verbal communication or in presentations or in written communication as well. So you have to do the backstage preparation very well. The choice of words. The words are the power. You have to know that where you are and which appropriate words you have to use. As somebody during the interview said, it's a nonsense question. So we have to make sure that where are we and which appropriate words we really need to use. Who are the audience? If my audience is my boss, I will definitely use a different word. If my audience is my family members or my friends, so the words are the power and it needs to be used properly. If I just look into the example, somebody asked, is your task completed? We have to share the release today with the client. An employee responded, my code is not working and I don't know why. Is it really a concise and a clear message? My code is not working. You need to be sure what is not working. What are the hurdles or the impediments which is stopping you to share the release today with the client? So a message needs to be clear. If code is not working, the candidate needs to be aware of that which line is not working or which module is not working. And he needs to give an accurate answer that yes, the release can't be shared today. I need help with someone who can facilitate me to fix it today. And after that, I can take the decision either the release can be shared today or not. So again, the backstage preparation was not clear. The candidate who responded that my code is not working, he needs to do a little bit preparation before handing over this word. That which area is not working? Do I really need help or am I going to solve it myself? If you just focus on these 3 or 4 C's of the verbal communication, it will definitely help everyone to be an effective communicator. When we communicate, we also prefer to have the 3 P's in our communication. And the first P stands for the pitch. Sometimes we have to use a higher volume, and in few cases, we have to use a lower volume. It entirely depends on the emotions or any information that we would like to share. The pace as well, and the pauses. When I give pause during this session, I intentionally give pauses because it gives you a chance to understand what am I trying to communicate. If I continuously speak, nobody will understand what am I trying to communicate to you. So pauses are quite important. When we write the message, we usually add the commas and the question marks. When we speak the same sentence, whatever we have written, so we use pauses on that time. To emphasize a specific word, we can use the pause. Let's consider a script. If I just read this script, and later on I will also read the same script, so you can understand the difference in between the pace and the pause as well. Let's have the example of the script 1. Pausing and pacing are not the rigid rules, but rather flexible techniques that depends on the various factors such as purpose, audience, content, and the style. Did somebody get anything in the mind? I'm sure not. It was just a reading a script without any pause, without having any pitch, and the pace was quite high. It was difficult to understand for the audience. On the other hand, if I just read the same script and I say, the pausing and the pacing are not the rigid rules, but rather flexible techniques that depends on the various factors, such as the purpose, audience, the content, and the style. There is a difference in between the script 1 and the script 2, and the audience can observe that what happens when I use the pause and the pace and kept the pace slow. It helps you to understand. Similarly, we have another key aspect of the verbal communication, which is 1T. And the T stands for the tone. Which tone we are using? If we just summarize the whole verbal communication, I would say that it started from the miscommunication among the team members, that when they were not doing the communication among them, or they were having the conversations over the different chat messages, the clarity wasn't there. The conclusions were not clear that what do they have to do. When they sit together, they take the decisions, they take the ownership. And just because of the leadership and the communication style, the productivity enhanced. In order to make the verbal communication more effective, we have seen the key aspects, that was 4 C's, the 3 P's, and the 1 T. That how can we make our communication more effective, more clear, and in a simple way, so that the others can easily understand that what we are trying to communicate to them. And it is quite essential that we really need to have to face the interviews in our daily life. So the verbal communication is one of the factors that we can express ourselves in front of the interviewer, and similarly during the presentations as well. So that's all about the communication strategies of the verbal communication only. Because of the constraint of time, I'm not going to cover about the non-verbal communication and the other modes of the communication, which is the written communication and active listening as well. But I hope I will share some other time later in the meetings. That's all about the communication strategies. And I hope that if somebody use it in our daily routine, definitely we can grow and excel. Do we have any questions from the audience? Anyone?
Toastmaster Iram, I have a question. First of all, thank you for this another very enlightening keynote. So my question is that once you try to, okay, sorry, let me turn off the timing. Yeah, once you have, have you ever encountered a situation where, because I have, and that's why I'm asking, that sometimes you communicate something to the team and they understood, they get it, they acknowledge, and when you check back on them again, they seem to have not absorbed it fully, or they have made some mistake, or even during the course of executing what is assigned to them, they lose their way. Now, it's not possible to check on them every minute and second because that would defeat the whole purpose of empowerment, right? So, how does one address this situation?
Another technique is that you can communicate verbally as well as you have to ask the candidates that what do they understand. So you have to take a confirmation from the other listener as well, that are they getting the points accurately, whatever you are trying to communicate. That is the first technique, so that you can be sure that whatever you have communicated, the message has been transformed properly. That is the first thing. The second thing is, just to make it more easy, you can also write down the messages or the at least the important points. Like we discussed the point 1, the point 2, the point 3, and the point 4. So it also gives them a clear message that this point has been discussed. And is it really understood by the listener or not? So from my perspective, these two techniques can be followed. And instead of taking the feedback or the reviews after every 5 minutes or the 10 minutes, what I generally do is at least to take a confirmation or to discuss the matter with the candidate at least once in an hour. So if the message haven't been understood properly, at least an hour is going to be wasted, not an entire day. So, and sometimes it can be the micromanagement as well. But you just have to go to the resources and politely ask, is there any concern or whatever we discussed, is it really understood or not? So if something is missing, we can just communicate again. But we really need to make sure that why it is going to be missing again and again. It needs to be understood by the listener properly. So from my perspective, I would suggest that these 2 points. Anyone else?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Anyone else? Okay, we have 2 comments. We have a comment from DTM Ajay. Hi, Ram. I appreciate the valuable insights shared during the session. And DTM Abravani is also thanking you for the insights. So, any questions or comments?
Thank you very much. I would like to give some words right now because I have seen initially when Toastmaster Iram, actually she came and she was discussing about the communication, and she's very much improved communicator now. And today, honestly, I also learned something from her today. So that's very nice. Keep inspiring us, keep coming, and this is how you will keep yourself prosper and flourish. Thank you.
Thank you so much, DTM Abrar, for your kind words.
Okay.
I think it's I didn't add any value in your knowledge because you already are the DTM and you already have the sufficient amount of information about the communication. So it was
Honestly,
just a
yeah,
small thing for you.
Yes.
No,
Thank
that
you. We all are learning. Either it is DTM Talha, either it is DTM Abrar. Everyone is learning here. And thank you very much. Honestly, we learned. Honestly, it's not like
yes,
we are saying it's one of us. Yes.
yes, I agree with ETM Abrar that every time we communicate, we learn. And that's the whole reason of being in Toastmasters and continuing to be in Toastmasters, right? Otherwise, you would think that after DTM, for example, DTM Ajay or DTM Abrar would feel no need to participate in meetings. But here they are, listening and communicating because the learning is continuous. And believe it or not, every time we hear, like your keynotes are, of course, very educational. But even if we go over something that is familiar and we've learned like 10 times, even then we manage to learn something new. So there's always value addition in that. So thank you so much, everyone. And now we move on to the prepared speech in our meeting. And I request everyone, if you could spare a few more minutes, let's say about 10 more minutes, we'll thoroughly appreciate because we will need you for panel evaluation. So DTM Ajay is attempting a very interesting project from Pathways. It is called Communicating Change. And I remember that in the old curriculum, this project used to be there, and it was about communicating an actual change. I mean, a change that you are bringing, a change that is coming in your organization, and how will you share that? But in Pathways, they have slightly altered it, and they now say that it can be a hypothetical change as well. And frankly, I don't see a point behind that because if you are, and same goes for the researching and presenting project, where in the old curriculum you're supposed to showcase an actual research, not something that you created. But in the Pathways, they let you get away with presenting theoretical research as well, like without any sources. You conduct your own research and you can present it. So uh, for me, that takes away some of the value, but communicate change is a 5 to 7 minute speech. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice the skills needed to effectively communicate change to a group or organization. The purpose of this speech is for the member to practice speaking about change. The member completing the project spent time preparing a plan for communicating change to groups affected by the change. Check with the member to understand the change and audience your club presents. A well-organized speech about a real or hypothetical change. The speech may be humorous or informational, but must reflect on understanding of the audience. For example, if the member is announcing the evaluation on how effectively the member communicates the change, departure of a company CEO, it would likely be inappropriate to give a humorous speech. So, of course, the tone has to match the message that's being given. So, I will be the lead evaluator, but I'll request uh, the two Irams with us and one Abrar with us to participate in the panel evaluation. Okay, so DTM Abrar, if you can comment, would it be okay if you can comment on for 1 minute on the audio aspects of the speech?
Yes. Yes, I can. I can.
Thank you so much. DTM Iram, could you comment on the visual aspects of the speech?
Yes, sure. I'll do that.
Thank you so much. And Toastmaster Iram, would you comment on the language and structure aspects of the speech?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, we have Toastmaster Mohammed Tahir with us as well. Toastmaster Mohammed Tahir, if I make a request to you, we are just about to hear a speech, and after the main evaluation, there will be a panel evaluation. So, would you be interested in commenting on how the speech impacted you for 1 minute?
Well, Assalamu alaikum, DTM Talha bin Ahmed. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. Well, I'm really sorry. Actually, I was on a call. Although I joined the meeting, but I was on a call and I missed the speech. So
No, you have not. No, you have not missed the speech. The speech is about to start.
Okay, the speech is about to start. So then
Yes.
I love to join and I will, inshallah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mohammed Tahir. Great to see you. So
Thank
the
you.
speech will be 5 to 7 minutes. It's about a speech about communicating change. After that, there will be lead evaluation from my side, and the panel evaluation will start. DTM Abrar will comment on the audio aspects. DTM Iram, visual aspects. Toastmaster Tahir on the perceptible aspects or the impact of the speech on the audience, and Toastmaster Iram. The second Iram will be commenting on the language and structure. So everyone put your hands together for DTM Ajay. Just a second. DTM Ajay, can you see the timing window? It will be my window.
Timing window, I cannot see DTM Talha. I can see
That's
you.
yeah, so that's my window. Yeah.
Okay, fine. I can
That's
see you.
timing. Okay. So everyone put your hands together for DTM Ajay, Project Condor. Project Condor, DTM Ajay.
Thank you, DTM Talha. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, good evening. Change. Change is inevitable. Change is constant in the world. Few people graciously accept the change, while others resist the change. As an individual, I have seen numerous changes, personally, professionally, and worldly. Today, I'm going to share one such change that I have experienced recently with you all. It was in the year 2006. I stepped into the corporate world as a process associate. I'm very proud of myself because the company I'm into is one of the Fortune 500 company. And the work culture there is very supportive. The management used to encourage each and every employee to pursue their dreams and passions apart from work. I really enjoyed the working culture there. I have been with that company for almost 16 years. And it was in October 2022. We had a town hall meeting with our CEO. It was a virtual meeting. We all geared up. We are all excited to listen the latest news about the company, about the market from our respected CEO. And in that meeting, she announced the Project Condor. For the benefit of audience, Project Condor is a huge project and it is an agreement between two companies to transfer few departments from the company which I am working into the new company. It's a lift and shift of people, systems, and technology. I was part of that Project Condor. It's not only me. Around 450 employees got impacted with this agreement and with this lift and shift program. All of a sudden, there was chaos across the teams, across the floor. We all felt that we are going to lose our jobs soon. Sensing this unrest across the floor and across the teams, the top management decided to speak to all employees on a regular basis and communicate this change regularly. So we had our weekly team meetings wherein we asked numerous questions from, it might be a silly question or whatever it may be, but all the questions are answered. The management assured us that it's not at all losing the jobs. It's just only transfer of a few people from one company to another company. The work we do, the titles we have, and the pay we get will not get impacted at all. That is the assurance given by the top management. we started receiving the emails from both the companies, this company and the upcoming new company, about the Project Condor. And after 1 year, that is by October 2023, we were into a new company. We were warmly welcomed by the CEO, the top management, and the HR. And we were given instructions about the new work culture in the new company. During this change, during this period, that is from October 2022 to 2023, I just focused on two things. Number one, what can I do better in my current role and current job? Second, how can I improve myself to meet the market needs? If something goes wrong, I should be updated according to the market demand. So these are the two things which I focused. I did not listen to any other rumors. I also informed my family members because they are also going to be impacted. I informed them about the work change at my office, and they are very well prepared. What I learned is change is always hard in the beginning, messy in the middle, and gorgeous in the end. We need to communicate change when we are working in team environment. We need to communicate the change because the number one is it will reduce the resistance of the change. Number two, it will give a clear picture why we are changing. Number three, it will also clear the air of any doubts, of any impact that are going to happen to the people who are going to be impacted. By the way, the Project Condor. Condor means it's a type of vulture. It's one of the largest bird which flies for a long distances, which we can find in the Western Hemisphere. So that's the reason the project was named as Project Condor. So this is about communicating change. Over to you, TMOD, DTM Talha.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Ajay. So I'll kick off with my evaluation first, and after that we'll follow with the panel evaluators. So let me inform everyone that this evaluation format is globally exclusive to Quantum Leap, simply because it was invented by one of our founding members. You'll see a lot of panel evaluations elsewhere, but unless they copied Quantum Leap, there won't be one exactly like this. So starting with my timer now, just give me a second. Yeah. So DTM Ajay, what a beautiful speech about change. When one looks at this project, one does not really expect to be maybe inspired, informed, yes, enlightened, yes, but not inspired. But you managed to make it somehow inspiring because you had a beautiful start and your build-up was beautiful. You equated the change starting from personal life to within ourselves, to within our immediate surroundings, to global change. And that really set up the stage. And the way you work your way towards announcing what you were going to speak about or what was the change, that was almost flawless. And we should all learn from this, how to build up towards something. Your speech had logic and lucidity. We understood every concept that you presented. You used some great phrases, which I would leave to the language evaluator, but your eye contact was also spot on. We all felt that you were directly speaking to us, and you spoke something beautiful in the end, that the change can be chaotic in the beginning, messy in the middle, but gorgeous. So chaotic to messy to gorgeous. I mean, really, really inspiring, and it also inspires us not to fear change, but to embrace it. So that is one of the primary objectives, even if unwritten, of this project, and you nailed it. A few improvement areas. First of all, when you got to the messy stage of the transition, all of a sudden there was chaos and we all feared losing our jobs. So perhaps your face and your voice could have expressed that a little better. It had broadly the same tone as the rest of the speech, so while the words made it to us, they were perhaps not as impactful as they could have been. And secondly, I love the name Project Condor and its connotations, but in my personal opinion, again, that's a purely stylistic feedback, nothing technical. But perhaps it came too late in the speech. If it could have been slightly towards the beginning. But again, that is your stylistic choice. I won't fault you for that because we all know of this technique as well, that sometimes the whole point of a speech is not revealed in the beginning, and instead you gently work your way towards it, and in the end, it comes as a big reveal. So I cannot challenge that, but perhaps for my own understanding, it would have been better. So overall, DTM Ajay, very well delivered speech. I think you communicated the change very well. You managed to make the change something to aspire to, something to be inspired by, rather than something to fear. Only a little bit of vocal variety here and there, especially at the parts where it required it, could have made it even better. So with that, I hand over the charge to our first panel evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Abrar Wani, who will comment on the audio aspects of the speech. The ideal time for this feedback is 1 minute each. So over to you, DTM Abrar.
Thank you very much, GK Ajay. Well, as far as your volume, your auditory aspect is concerned, the first thing I would like to commend that is the rate of your speech, because every word that you delivered in today's speech was very clear to me. I was easily able to understand and grasp whatever you said today. So hats off to you for the great clarity and the rate of your speech. Let's move towards a point which I believe that you should have improved within your speech, and those are: number one is the melody, the variation of pitch within your speech. For example, when you're saying change, as we have seen various changes, when you're saying that today we have seen some, like it was like that, today we have seen some changes. If you would have used like that, today we have seen some changes. I was working in one of 500 Fortune companies. Basically, when you bring variation within your pitch, it adds melody in your voice, and melody always support the audience, and because it gives a feeling nice to your ears. For example, the one more aspect I would like to add within your speech, though there was very much clarity within your speech, but maintaining the rate of speech, the addition of pauses is a very great element. For example, when you are saying that in that meeting, she announced Project Condor. There was no pause in between that. If I were at your place, I would rather use that. In that meeting, she announced Project Condor. So that variation, along with the pause, addition of pitch, and the nice rate of your speech that you carried on, thank you very much. Keep delivering such inspiring speech in the future as well. Over to you.
Thank you so much, DTM Abrar. He will keep delivering such inspiring speeches as long as you keep attending. So you have to hold up your part of the bargain. DTM Ajay is a regular. So now we move on to DTM Iram for the evaluation of visual aspects of the speech. Over to you, DTM Iram.
Thank you very much, DTM Ajay, for a wonderful speech, pretty inspiring. I really like what I see. I always admire having a clear background, movement of hands, getting the opportunity of tilting your head further back wherever required. The only part of feedback that I would really like to give you today is that if I was somehow expecting a bit of a virtual background of the topic, the people, the feeling, the change, anything. So the whiteness, which I really admire, I got into a fits of thinking that is that really something that I want every time? So today I'm asking you to bring a small change, that whenever there is a topic which has an impact, one picture, either of the bird, the disease, the people, the change, one picture would have actually got me in that position where you were there. So thank you for sharing. Brilliant attempt. Looking forward for more.
Thank you so much, DTM Iram. Reporting live from Karachi Grammar School. Yeah. So over now to Toastmaster Mohammad Tahir. Toastmaster Tahir, you are supposed to talk about the impact on you as an audience member. How did it inspire you?
Well, thank you, DTM Tala. First of all, I want to congratulate DTM GK Ajay for delivering a wonderful speech. It was a wonderful speech that impacted me a lot. That Project Wonder and with the theme communicate. So overall, it was a wonderful speech. I embrace every word he spoke, and whatever he spoke, I was thinking that it was for me because I went through different changes in my career during last couple of years. So overall, it was a fantastic speech. But what I want to say, there is a little bit of improvement required. That eye contact was good, the speech delivery was good, but there is a missing link between expression and the delivery. So the one thing that need to be added into the speech is the improvement of the facial expression and the body language. Although he used his hand gestures very well, but the most important thing is the impact and the impression of the delivery is missing. Overall, it was a wonderful speech, and I believe DTM Ajay is seasoned speaker and a professional speaker. So I look forward to hear his more speeches. Over to you, DTM Tala.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mohammad Tahir. Just for my interest, where are you precisely?
Where I am? I'm traveling,
Yeah.
and I just saw that meeting is about to start 1 hour. So later
Great.
I saw my cell phone and I thought that I'm late. So I'm just on the bank of the road and I'm just listening this speech, and I thought that why not to attend 30 to 45 minutes and then go on the journey.
Thank you so much. How lucky for us, because DTM Iram joined us from her son's contest. You're joining us from the road. And DTM Abrar sacrificed his breakfast, but now he's going for breakfast. Thank you so much, DTM Abrar. And now to our fourth evaluator, Toastmaster Iram. You'll be commenting on the language and structure. So over to you, Toastmaster Iram.
Thank you so much, DTM Talha. Overall, the speech was properly well structured, a concise and a clear message shared by him. A few language observations were left and shift. Also, all of a sudden, that was the good vocabulary usages. I felt that few past in the present tense was mixed. It can be my mistake, obviously. For example, I heard that the communicate the change regularly. Instead of this, communicated the change regularly need to be used. Similarly, the management encourages. I think it needs to be management encouraged. These two were the observations, and other than this, everything was well structured. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Iram, for that very succinct and comprehensive evaluation. So now we go back to DTM Ajay for his feedback on the feedback. And after that, we'll engage each one of you again for the feedback on the feedback on the feedback. No, I'm just kidding. It's just feedback on the feedback.
Thank you, DTM Talha, the lead evaluator, and the panel of evaluators. And I accept that an improvement has to be there, and I will try to incorporate all your suggestions into the next speech and will deliver it. Thank you so much. Back to you, DTM Talha.
Okay, DTM Ajay, sorry, I have to point this out. When you say I accept, it seemed that you were before a tribunal hearing and we were all making a case against you, and the charges against you were being repeated by each one of us. And in the end, you said, I accept. Please don't use that. Of course, we all know that in Toastmasters, evaluation and feedback is it is up to the speaker. Whatever makes sense to you, internalize that. And yes, it is very humble. That's what I was pointing out, BTM. And if something doesn't connect with you, something doesn't make sense to you, it's completely up to you. Our job as evaluators is to provide you with a feedback with as much honesty and objectivity as possible. And your job is not to plainly accept, but to accept if you wish to. So with that, since we had a small agenda today, so we will bring this meeting to a close because there is no table topics master and no week of the week. So, and our second speaker has not joined. So, before ending, I will now like to take the feedback on the feedback about the meeting. So, starting with Toastmaster Aram. No, our guest Aram, DTM Aram.
It's
Your
DTM
comments
or
about
TM?
TM Aram, your comments on the meeting.
Overall, it was quite learning, though we have only one speech, which is from the Ajay. But I joined last time and today as well. It was a learning opportunity from every one of you, especially from your side, your theme and the wordings used throughout the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Aram. You are more than welcome to join again as well. And Toastmaster Tahir, if it is possible for you to provide your feedback.
Well, thank you, DTM Tala. I just listened the speech of DTM GK Ajay. It was very inspiring and encouraging speech for me, especially, and for all the speaker as for all the participants as well. Overall, it was a good, and I believe DTM Tala, you are a seasoned Toastmaster and passionate Toastmaster since years. So it's good to listen you and to attend the speeches of your club, especially. So I would love to listen more speeches and I would love to join your club meeting. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Tahir. You're always more than welcome, not only to join, but to even participate, to do roles or speeches. The club is open for you. Thank you so much. DTM Abrar, feedback is a breakfast of champions, but you are having a breakfast of your own. So would you like to provide us with some breakfast as well? Okay, perhaps he's away. So he actually sent a personal message that he's going for breakfast now. So it's 12 noon, but I'm no one to judge, if you get what I mean. Okay, so with that, we bring this meeting to a close. DTM Iram, do you want to say anything? Now it's DTM Iram.
You can always call me Rosie when
Oh,
Toastmaster Aram is around. And by the way, I'm so used to just being, called Aram, Toastmaster Aram, that today I was really, at times when he said
yeah,
Toastmaster Aram, I was about to say something. So, and that's what happens when you're in Toastmasters for a long time. So you're used to all the names that are taken. So wonderful to hear your keynote today. I did have a trouble of audio. That's why I switched on the captions. And today I could see that how many of us actually speak in a way that the captions
yeah,
can read them right. And DTM Ajay, you nailed it. Amazing translation of so the way how your vocals are so clear, mashallah. And I would commend that it takes a lot of effort to be
yes,
so to have that kind of vocal clarity that even AI or the captions, they could pick it up so easily. It's very easy to have those twist of turns in your tongue just to show that, I know the language too well.
yes,
But it takes
yes.
a lot of hard work to have that clarity that everybody can understand. I'm inspired today. And I think we should do that. We should always, while speaking, have our captions on to see how clear was I actually for the technology. So Toastmaster Aram, kudos to you. The DTM Ajay, amazing work. Lead evaluator, you're the winner today. And everybody who has contributed, thank you so much for taking over my job at DTM Talha as a president. And wish you all the rest of the weekend an amazing one.
Thank you. Thank you, DTM Iram. Thank you for participating and making this meeting special as well. I think we landed upon a brilliant idea again, that is turning on captions. Somehow we'll incorporate that into our future meetings, because that's an excellent measure. That's an excellent measure of the clarity. And you know what, DK Madam nailed it when she said, we sometimes obsess about accents, that, we should have this accent or that accent, or we have a Desi accent, or we have too much of an accent. That's really not an issue. The issue is when you struggle to understand someone. And many of us, or all of us, have heard British English, right? And in its purest form, it's next to unintelligible unless we listen really hard. And even UK natives, they make fun of that accent. So who are we to try to understand it? But I bet that if you caption that, I don't think it will be translated very well. So somehow we'll incorporate maybe a supplementary role of the language evaluator could be to detect the clarity, and perhaps there could be some somewhere where these captions are recorded. So yeah, I think that's another brilliant idea. AI is offering this option to us, so why not take it? So thank you so much, DTM Madam, and thank you so much, everyone. We'll take your leave now and see you all very soon. Thank you so much.